I'm Leland, and I host Sports Dissected, but I also sand on the weekend. Every athlete, no matter the age, gender, or sport, knows that the locker room is the most important space in any facility. And while initially it was used as just a changing room for gladiators, it has since transformed into an oasis away from home, including everything from sleeping pods to gaming systems. And on this episode, we're linking with our friends over at Shield to see how they're designing the locker room for the modern athlete. I'm Leland, and welcome to Sports Dissected. All right, guys, so I'm here with Mr. Danny Lewis, Senior Sports Leader at Shield. I see this is the Cadillac of lockers.
Last year around this time, we were getting ready for the AFCA conference, and everybody brings what they've done throughout the year to that conference. We thought, you know what, let's do that, but let's also take it to another level and bring what we're considering our concept car. So this is our concept locker, our flex, if you will, on when we talk custom, like how crazy do you want to get? One, how do we show off the helmet? Let's hide it and bring it up.
Don't do that.
Oh yeah. So gets up here, we've got a set of RGB lighting here, you can control that. Also, next step we get to is how do we show off uniforms and everything? Well, we go up top, we click a button, we're showing it off. You've got your shoes, you've got your helmet, your jersey, all that stuff. So we can hit a button, we're going from opaque to clear with lighting behind it. How do we digitize nameplates? Well, let's put a TV back there and really dig into it, because you've got a lot of functionality there. You can build this out for recruiting or your player that's in the locker and can change daily, weekly. As I'm using the locker, heated seats. Who doesn't want to be comfortable in their seat? I mean, warm up a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
Up top, we've got a control panel here. You can flip on and off your light. I can flip a switch here. I've got air conditioning on both sides with a high flow, or switch it down to low. And then lastly, you can flip a switch right here. You'll hear it kick on. We've got two speakers, Bluetooth speakers, that as a player, I can control my own music or what I'm listening to, or the staff can control as a locker room what's played on those. Last but not least, while we're sitting here, I've got a little lip up top that's got an inductive charger in there. Within here, there's tons of storage. You know, we've got lots of great hidden compartments, you know, that are traditionally dead areas in a locker. Down below, you've got great storage for shoes, pads, and everything. Within there, what's really neat, in the bottom and the top, you've got two drying fans that are charcoal filtered to help with smell. Some of the technology we're working on will allow an equipment manager to control all this from an iPad. We put a fridge in there. Go ahead and open that bad boy up. This was really our opportunity to say, hey, if you want to get custom, let's really get crazy. This is Cleveland Cavaliers. We worked with Ginsler out of Washington, D.C. on this project. It turned out spectacular. I think first off, you're gonna notice the custom glass doors. So on these doors, we use a custom company out of Italy to make these specifically for the door. So they get the size, the weight, the function we need. And I think what's really great is, as you get into the locker, not only is it soft close, but it will grab it and close it for you. So if I get the door to about there, it'll take it the rest of the way back and soft close it for the athlete. If you look on the bottom, there's the city of Cleveland skyline perforated in, and it's backlit. Within the drawer here, this is kind of their personal space. If you look in here, they can set the phone. It's got an inductive charger for the guys, as well as a duplex USB and plug-in for them. And then plenty of personal storage. You know, we got asked the question once, hey, this is Cleveland. I got a winter coat, or some of the guys got a mink. Where's it gonna go? So, you know, we made an extra long hanger area for the gentlemen to hang up their winter coats and you know, fur coats if they wear them. I'm not here to judge.
So obviously this is an NBA team.
Yep.
Their budget is a little bit larger. I'm a university and I want to build a locker room. I want to give guys that same kind of feel, but I don't have that type of budget just yet.
I think there's a lot of great ways to dig into that. I think what it comes down to is our design team and us sitting down and kind of figuring out, from you as an institution or a team, like what's important? Like what is the vibe and feel? Is it doors? Is it no doors? Is it in-seat bench? Is it shoe storage? Is it, you know, the bells and whistles of inductive chargers and things like that? The University of San Francisco locker is a great example of what I feel is an NBA looking locker, but not at that price tag. You know, they wanted the pivot pocketing doors. Well, that's an expensive feature. It can be, because again, if you use the right hardware for these to last, it's gonna take some time. So we looked at, you know, instead of doing glass, we went with a 1/2-inch thick cross acrylic door. You know, that allows them to save some money on material there. Instead of two pivot pocketing doors, we went with one oversized one that will open for the players and pocket all the way back for them. So they've got their game day display here in recruiting mode. On their personal side, this one opens a little bit past 90 and allows them to have kind of their own personal wardrobe with their lockbox, charging, all of that good stuff. You know, lift up bench for plenty of shoe storage and extra, as well as down here below. So again, a very cost-effective locker, but a high-end look and feel.
All right, guys, so I'm here with Stephen Hopkins. This is your brainchild. How did it kind of come about?
So I'm an architect by background, came from the sports architecture world. Loved every minute of that, worked there for 5 or 6 years for Populous, and I went to run an R&D shop for another manufacturer, and we were playing around with this material called solid surface. 8 years ago, healthcare-associated infections were a big deal. Superbugs and the rise of that, and we loved the material, and it's cleanable, and it's super durable. And we're like, man, everyone's making countertops out of this stuff. Surely we can do something else out of it. Then in 15, one of the design crews came along, Charlotte Hornets popped up and like, hey, like, think you can build a locker? Like, yeah, I guess we could. You know, I don't know why not. And, you know, totally thought like, that's cool. You know, maybe we'll do like one of these a decade. And the next year we just had an avalanche of Penn State and the Clippers and West Virginia and KU. And it was like, oh, like we might have something here.
What are the similarities between the medical field and the sports field that maybe didn't really, to the naked eye, was like, they don't overlap, but they did?
They're both rough environments and require kind of radical cleaning, and the need for, you know, more cleanable environments is not less now. We are by no means clinicians, but some of that expertise from that world, from those organizations, from the baselines that healthcare has set up, are now becoming pretty applicable for the sport world. As we find ways to, you know, clean equipment better, to dry it better, to sanitize our locker rooms better, trying to be a voice for that, or to offer some different perspective, I think we've had a lot of good conversations around that.
What are some of the most, I guess, creative features that you've created with the locker room, or just the locker in general? Because
of the material, we can etch sort of anything into it or anything through it, and so we love working with schools and designers on like what kind of logos and patterns and different things we can do in there. I think that's always a fun part of it. You can backlight it, and so there's been a lot of lockers, you know, where you don't have any light on, you can't see anything. You know, it looks like a piece of flat material, but when you light it, a bunch of cool stuff happens on the backside.
All right, guys, so I'm here with Alyssa Hagan. What's a good example of something you guys have worked on that was super custom, super one-of-one, one of your favorites?
You know, one of my favorite projects was Brooklyn Nets basketball lockers. We did that. We work a lot with the architecture and design community. The collaboration and the coordination that we have with the design and construction team is a huge part of what makes us successful as well. You know, it has this almost trophy case display when you enter the locker room, and then when you open the locker up, there's a lot of really cool kind of hidden compartments and things that are specific to what the Brooklyn Nets asked for.
So I saw, just playing around on your website, the Golden State Warriors locker room. And that almost kind of had that feel like it was museum type quality.
It's a huge locker, first of all. It's 10 feet tall, about 4.5 feet wide, so it's huge. You can crawl in this thing and take a nap. The locker itself is built out of solid surface, the structure of it for the durability. They wanted more of the wood aesthetic on the exterior, so it had a very specific wood veneer where, you know, it was a very specific flitch number in Hawaii of this wood veneer that they wanted, that they're using throughout the entire facility. There's a 42-inch screen TV in the back of the locker, big nameplate. This is obviously tons of shoe storage. On the collegiate side of things, you kind of have to think about the different modes of the locker room: game day mode, training mode, recruiting mode. Is it just a game day locker? Is it just a training locker? Is it both? How they're using it day to day, or if it's only a game day locker, they're only using it once a week.
All right, guys, so I'm here with Ms. Lori Gorman, Chief Integrator.
You got it.
Okay, what does that mean?
It means that I have to integrate all the processes and departments of the organization: finance, sales, engineering, design, production. You're going to see the CNC, how we cut the product, how we take a flat piece of raw material and turn it into pieces that we're going to reassemble into the work of art that I think we make and produce every day.
We're getting ready to build a locker. What is the first stage?
The first stage is really back in the office with engineering. So they will design that locker to a customer's specifications. From there, they send it to RSIM, nesting. They will take a 3D model, lay it out flat, and send it out to one of our 2 CNC machines, where it's then cut into pieces, that one solid piece of material. It is cutting out locker pieces right now that will be assembled to be a locker for Arkansas. This machine is changing router bits based upon what engineering has told it, so that all the different pieces will come together as one.
Clearly we're here in the factory where the magic is made. How many people does it usually take to kind of make the magic happen?
Right now, the magic we've got is on 12 really hardworking craftsmen out here in the shop. We're small but growing, and they just do a phenomenal job. For each locker, from start to finish, will be about anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, depending upon the complexity of the build.
Once the raw material gets cut, what's the next stage in the process?
The next stage is it goes to basically our sanding stage, where we're going to kind of take some of that outer gleam and sheen off of it and get it ready for fabrication.
Guys, I'm here with Dustin. Explain to me what we're doing here and also the importance of the sanding.
The material we're sanding is solid surface. It's pretty hard to start with. It's got a little bit of softness to it. Can't get scratched up if it's too shiny. So I'll start going around like that. Make sure I'm taking that down. You can see that little borderline kind of go away. And I just double check it. If I do have any imperfections on here, I'm gonna go over it, sand that spot again, get it out, and we'll go back over the whole piece because we want that consistency on every single piece.
I want to give it a try.
Yeah, you can do it. I'll grab you another one.
On the scale of 1 to 2, am I natural or not? Come on.
I mean, I've seen a lot worse. Let's put that. I've been in all sorts of shops, and the part's still viable, so I'd say, you know, 2.
All right, there we go. I like that. So we made it to Fayetteville, Arkansas, on the University of Arkansas's campus. I'm here with Danny. We're doing the installation today, get our hard hats, high res. What are we expecting today?
Well, first, I mean, you look really official, so that's I love it. We're ready to go. We're gonna look at lockers today. We're going full circle. You've sanded them, you've seen them in the shop. What do they look like when we're getting installed? How does that go about? We're gonna talk about the HVAC and how it sucks air through, all that good stuff today.
So I get to use these gloves and not just for show?
No, you get to put those on.
All right, so Daddy, looks like a skeleton in here.
Yeah, yes it does, yeah.
Explain to me, what are we looking at here? What's going on at this stage?
Yeah, so we are currently in the women's locker room here at the track and field facility. Prior to our lockers coming into place, there's a lot of coordination that happens with the electrician. So we were just talking about, you know, is it just a plug-in for your phones? Is it inductive chargers? Is it lights? So you'll see throughout this room, you'll see plug-ins, you'll see wiring that needs to be pulled through that we'll coordinate, and our engineers will coordinate with the electrician. What we're looking at specifically here is on these lockers, as you guys saw, they're perforated all the way in the back, they're perforated in the front. What that is for is to pull air through to help with smell in the room and help drying things. So you'll see here behind each locker, they've got the HVAC set up here. So there'll be a gap from the back of this locker to the back of this locker that'll allow air to move through the perforations of the locker, in, up, and through the air and out to help mitigate smell. So again, it's all about coordination. So with this, you're working with the HVAC team and the mechanical engineers. Then on the other side, on the electric, you're coordinating and working with the electrician and making sure everything is lined out. We're gonna move over to the men's locker room now, where we have probably half of the run at least starting to get put in, and really get it ready for that final push in that locker room to make everything, you know, pop for the guys when they walk in.
First and foremost, let's take a moment to acknowledge my work.
Yeah.
My good sanding work. I recognize it. I know this is mine, right?
Oh, this is all you. This is actually why we put it here. We knew, we put a sticker on the back. This was LELAND sanded here. Yeah, this is you. You did a good job. So on these lockers, the great part about the material, we're able to perforate through the whole thing. It does not mess with the microbial resistant nature, the waterproofness of it, because it's a through material. So A, safety first. It's not going to deteriorate it. It's going to hold up to all the cleaning. B, the front doors here that will come on last are also perforated to match that pattern. You can see the strip line here. This will be a backlit nameplate for the athletes. You'll have some metal here, and a really sweet looking backlit nameplate. Within the locker, you can see under top, they've already put an interior light for the athletes, and then they'll have what we call a toe kick light that'll run the entire run under here the whole way to tie it all together.
All right, Daddy. There's 120 total lockers. I see numbers on here.
Track and field folks, they don't have numbers. Football, you're number 78 or you're number 22. Basketball, you're number 5. Well, we've got to find a way for the equipment staff to know which locker is going where and who's getting assigned what locker as they're getting nameplates. So we numbered each locker for the athletes and really for the equipment staff to be able to find which locker they need to get to. You're hired.
When it comes to locker rooms, it's only 2 types of people. There's everyone else, and then there's Shield lockers. Since 2014, Shield's #1 priority has been to disrupt all industry standards by blurring the line between traditional function and modern masterpiece. With their use of non-traditional materials such as solid surface, they're able to set their clients' imaginations free. The Brooklyn Nets and Kansas Jayhawks trusted them, and you should too. Visit shieldlockers.com to unlock your dreams. But beware, because this isn't your father's locker room.